You are sitting at your desk, and without even realizing it, your hand is already moving toward your phone. You haven't finished the task in front of you. You haven't even really started it, but your thumb is already poised to scroll, seeking that tiny spark of novelty to distract you from the dull pressure of being productive. You feel a strange, hollow restlessness in your chest, a constant need to be stimulated, yet a total inability to focus on what actually matters. Your brain is buzzing with a dozen different tabs, yet you feel like you are standing still. This is not a lack of willpower. It is a biological state of emergency you have lived in for so long that you've forgotten what it feels like to just be calm. In the high-precision manufacturing hubs of Japan, there is a specific type of worker who operates with a level of focus that seems almost superhuman. If you walk through a Toyota plant or a precision electronics shop, you won't see people rushing or sweating. Instead, you see something called shitsuke and the practice of pointing and calling. A Japanese factory worker doesn't just do their job, they narrate it. When a train conductor approaches a signal, they don't just look at it, they point their finger directly at the light and say out loud, "Signal is green." When a technician checks a valve, they point and state the status. This looks strange to an outsider, but it reduces errors by nearly 85%. These workers have mastered the art of physicalizing their attention. They operate in an environment where every movement is intentional. Every tool has a home, and the noise of the outside world is physically and mentally locked out. They aren't relying on a burst of inspiration to get through the day. They are relying on a rhythmic, environmental discipline that keeps their dopamine levels perfectly flat and sustainable for hours on end. The reason you cannot focus like this isn't that you are lazy or broken. You are simply the victim of a very expensive war for your attention. There is a specific villain in your life, the infinite loop. Modern technology is designed to exploit a flaw in your brain's architecture, the search for the variable reward. Every time you check a notification, you are pulling a slot machine handle. You don't know if it will be a boring email or a dopamine-spiking message, and that uncertainty is what keeps you hooked. This constant flickering of your attention has shattered your baseline. Your brain has been conditioned to expect a reward every few seconds. When you try to sit down and do something meaningful, something that requires deep, quiet thought, your brain perceives the lack of instant stimulation as a physical threat. It feels like boredom, but it's actually a form of withdrawal. You were never taught how to protect your focus. You were taught how to give it away to the highest bidder. To fix this, you don't need a full detox. You don't need to move to a cabin in the woods or throw your laptop in the ocean. The secret lies in a mechanism called micro-boredom integration. The Japanese factory workers succeed because they don't try to escape boredom, they inhabit it. And when for you atteint in full for dopamine detox, your brain goes into a shock response. It craves the spike so badly that you eventually crash and binge on even more distractions. Instead, you must change how you process the gap between actions. The mechanism of the pointing and calling method works because it forces the brain to move from the subconscious autopilot mode into the conscious prefrontal mode. By naming what you are doing, you break the neurological circuit of the habit. You are essentially creating a manual override for your dopamine system. You are teaching your brain that it can exist in the space between rewards without needing to fill that space with a screen. This allows you to maintain a steady, low-level flow of dopamine that comes from the completion of the task itself, rather than the distraction from it. You aren't removing pleasure, you are switching the source of that pleasure from the input to the output. Tomorrow, you are going to practice a version of this Japanese factory protocol. It is one single shift in your behavior. When you transition from one activity to another, say from finishing a meal to starting your work, you will pause for exactly 60 seconds. You will not check your phone. You will not listen to music. You will stand or sit, and you will say out loud, "I am finished with lunch. I am now going to sit at my desk." As you do the task, if you feel the urge to check your phone, you must point at the phone and say out loud, "I am feeling an urge to distract myself." Do not fight the urge, just name it. This tiny act of verbalizing your impulses strips them of their power. You are moving the behavior from an invisible, automatic reflex into a visible, conscious choice. You will find that the moment you name the distraction, the need for it begins to dissolve. You are moving toward a version of yourself that is no longer a passenger in your own mind. You are becoming someone who operates with the quiet, steady intentionality of a master craftsman. Like the Japanese factory workers, your value is not found in how fast you can react to the world, but in how deeply you can immerse yourself in the thing right in front of you. You are reclaiming the right to be bored, and in doing so, you are reclaiming your life. True power is not the ability to do everything. It is the ability to do one thing, all the way until it is done. The world is loud, but your mind can be a place of absolute, productive silence.